Hello everybody. I was deciding back and forth if I should do this on video or if I should type this out. And I've beaten Legend Soloi with many units with the Greek civilization. And I just thought this would be easier. I hate typing so much, and maybe this will work a little bit better. So let me show you which units could and could not be beaten, with me at least, with Legend Soloi. Now, technology would be best to show you. Now, when it comes to the pikemen, I found the enemy spams ballistas, and then it's very difficult, so it's not worth it. If they did not spam ballistas, you could easily win with pikemen. Now, the two-handed swordsman, I can't pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try. I just got raped. No chance, no way, no how. But the hoplite, awesome unit. As you see a video, it can be done. Excuse me. With the tech though, when you're using infantry, if you're going to use the hoplite, please make sure you have all star techs, and you make sure you have your C2, so you have more bonus there. Now, when it comes to your ragged units, the pelts were useless to me. They couldn't get anywhere. I tried them a few times. They worked, then they fail, and then they worked a little bit more, and then they fail. It's one of those units that goes back and forth. Your bowmen, same thing as the pikemen. They work very well, but again, they can spam ballistas. I've had them spam ballistas like half the time, so it's not like something that happened every time, but they do still spam ballistas. And if you're going to make a ragged unit, just use the gastro. We all know that gastros are way better than anything else for ragged. And again, make sure you have the star tech in your ships. Now let's go to the cavalry. The age 2 cavalry, I can't pronounce it, so I won't even try on that. I tried them. They were very good against cavalry. Okay, so if you got a lot of cavalry units, you were good. Now, if you got a lot of infantry units plus the archers and gastros and pelts, which you always get those, but if they spam infantry, you're gonna lose very quickly. No matter if you have a very strong cooperative player, you still have to be able to take some hits, and you really can't have enough DPS behind you unless you get lucky with what they decide to spam. Now, the other two horses, very surprisingly, they both did very well. The hips and another one that I can't pronounce did super. The one with the spear, the one that I've highlighted, I showed that you can do it with ballistas, or I showed you that you can do it with gastros. And a few pals, of course, not to kill infantry or troops, but to kill forts, because as we both know, these units will not kill a fortress very easily. But if you want to mix up some, use these different units, because I got sick and tired of running the same shit day in and day out, and I'm sure all of you are too, because yeah, we all could do ballistas and gastros every day on soloi, and it gets boring. It just gets boring. So now you know you can do it with your hoplites, you can do it with your gastros, you can do it with 2 of your cavalry, and of course your ballista. You can do it with that unit. It's the most overpowered unit in the game. So when you look at those things and you want to play as Greek, use them. don't just say, okay, I'm just going to do this and this, and because it gets boring. And when you play this game as long as I have, and many of you have, you get online and you go, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do the same routine day in and day out? And just don't forget to, keep clicking on the wrong one. Whatever you use for Greek, you know, if you're going to use the infantry, use this one. If you're going to use archers, use this one. If you're going to use cavalry, use this one also. I mean, it just helps. Everything else besides, you know, a full armory, that's common sense. But let me show you what I used with these units, okay, for gear wise. And this helped me out the most. Now, for my hoplites, I did not use this spear. I used this shield, I used this armor, and the spear that I used, let me see if I can find it here, as it is not here. It's got to be on one of my other units. Here we go. This is the spear that I used on this horse and on my hoplite. You can get it at Crete. You have to play Crete a lot to get this spear, but it's very well worth it, just for the increase of cavalry armor and cavalry bonus damage. Very strong, very useful, 100% yes. Then you also, I had the shield that gives most health, and then a shield, armor that gave me infantry bonus damage. You could also go with cavalry bonus damage. Either one works just fine. And then I used my legend greaves, so I have more health. You gotta remember, if you're playing with ballistas, you're slow anyway. Hoplites are slower than ballistas if you use that setup though. Now when it comes to the hips, I don't know if different gear will make it so the hips don't work as well, but I have some very good stats on here for extra bonus protection. Of course I use the greaves, and of course you have this so archers can't hurt me as bad. Then I have the Rostam shield. You can also use the Spartan shield. If you can't afford that, you can think about going to the shield that I have on my hoplite for more health, or you can use the Ares. But see, this sword is why I get so much extra bonus in armor against infantry. I wish it dropped more, but it doesn't. So you're going to have to choose. It would have to be between the DPS blade or the other legend sword that has 3 crit. 3.3, but still, that's up to you. And now I want to show you what I have for my archers. I went pure range with them, but even with the pure range gear, minus, you know, the new epic bow, which would just kill my DPS completely, I still died too easy, and it still spammed ballistas over half the time, so I just chose not to. And pelts were just a total waste of time. And here I just moved the horse armor down and the greaves down, and that's what I used, and they did just fine. Now for ballistas, I'm a little different. I don't go for range. I have the elephant armor on the ballistas for one reason. I need a little bit of range so I don't get hit by the legend ballistas, because if I don't have just a little bit of range, I'm going to get killed in one shot, and I'll lose a group of them. And then I have DPS plates, and then DPS beams. Oh, I was going to say RAM, I didn't think I needed to say anything about it, but it's kind of common sense that this unit's going to be useless in this map. And then of course I could go with the Gastros, but everybody knows what Gastro's gear is by now. There's really no reason to go into much detail on that. The advisors that I used, a little laggy, I am uploading another video, so bear with me. When it came to cavalry, this is my setup every time. I just did the Hippicons, so that's what's uploading, so this was my last thing. you need the train speed if you are cavalry. You lose so many units. It's not even funny. I know some people will say to use this unit here, but I got 20 caravans out when I do horses, and I have 20 on food. And tell you what, you don't need this, because with the 20 that I have on gold and the 20 I have on food, if you look at some of my cavalry maps, I have over 50,000 gold left, so it's overkill. It's not even needed, but it gives you an idea. I think one map at the end of it, I had 58,000 gold. I mean, come on, really? Is that really needed that much? Reminds me of a Marion map. But after, now if you want to go infantry based, you just switch that to infantry. You train faster. This you could keep here, or you could use her so you can get food faster. Infantry doesn't cost as much, but you lose way more infantry than you do cavalry. And I can't think, do I use anything but him? Yes, in hoplites I could use him, or I use him, because it does give that 10% more health. The snare is useless. I did not notice any change in snare because it is so fast paced anyway, but the bonus health was a huge help. Is there anything else in the H4s that I would use? Well, bolt carrier if you are the ballista. Anything in the H3s besides the ones that I pointed out. I mean, some people would use this, but let's be honest, anything archer based gets killed in one hit with a ballista. It's not needed. I think it's a waste, if you ask me. And yeah, that's all I use there. Anything else here, I just don't see anything besides train speed, unless you decide to go gastro. I'd use that, but train speed is pretty much key. Some people like penny pincher because it does make everything cheaper, and age 1 for me never changes. You'll see in all my videos 99% of them, actually I'll go out on a limb and say 100% of the ones I think I've posted, I've used him, unless it is one that I need to build a lot, and then I will use him, and that's probably the Pirates map that I did use him on. And there's probably 2 maps. The breaking eggs to make an omelet map, I believe I used him also. But besides that, I use the survivalist. I don't know, some people don't like to use them, but I find 10% less, 10 less food per villager can add up very quickly when I myself make 40 in a map. So that is the gist of it. So if you ever decide that you are sick and tired completely of running gastros and ballistas, remember, you can do it with hoplites, you can do it with gastros, you can do it with 2 kinds of cavalry, maybe all 3 if you're very good and you have a very good siege player, and you can do it with the ballista. And you can do it with the paladin too. I never made a video on it, I just don't like how slow it can take. But this gives you an idea what is out there for everybody. Stop doing the same things. Have fun with the game. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. That's the whole point why I'm doing this. Y'all have a good night.